Alright, welcome back to the workshop, everybody. Today I got another knife project coming at you. This time it is the knife from the science fiction franchise Dune. There's been a lot of movie versions of this franchise, like the one back in the 80s, the David Lynch one, starring Kyle MacLachlan and a whole bunch of other awesome people. The knife was featured in that film. It was also featured in this mini-series that came out on the Sci-Fi channel a bunch of years ago. Pretty good. There's another movie coming out in the near future that I imagine they will have their own version of the knife. But all those are irrelevant because I want to make the one that I had pictured in my head when I was reading the book. So I'm going to take my own route, coming off my own design and trying to emulate that. What are these knives? Well, according to the story, they are knives that are made from the teeth of a giant sandworm on the planet Arrakis. So my knife will have to look organic, it'll have to look biological, it will have to look like it was carved from the tooth of a giant sandworm. But, like all my projects, I want this to be completely functional, a knife that you can use for whatever purposes you want to use it for. So I'm making steel, forging it. Actually, I have an old chisel I bought at a tag sale, and I'll have to do some kind of coating to it to make it look organic or bone-like. So it'll likely be a ceramic coating that goes on over that. This one's kind of interesting. It's a little less machining and almost more sculpting to achieve the look that I want to achieve. So let's take a look at some of my designs and go from there. Hope you enjoy the project. Thanks. Alright, here's my original sketch of what the knife is going to look like. According to the book, remember I'm not doing this from the movie versions, but rather as close as I can get to the written version. I had to hit a few different areas. Number one, the blade had to be Kinjal shaped. So, kind of having this long tapering curve. It had to have, it's described in the book as having small silver rings instead of a large pronounced handguard. I took some liberty with this just to make it look kind of cool. They're more than just rings, granted, but I tried not to make them too bold. Try to make them a little understated, still have everything very sleek. So, I don't know, hopefully I did it. Again, I'm taking some liberties, of course, but it also is described as having deep finger grooves on a black handle. This is about as deep as I ever want to make finger grooves. I just really don't like them too much. Other than this, I like the texture for grip, but again, anything more than that, I don't really like. I stylized this the way I want it to look. So, kind of like a more solid handle core, and then wrapped with some kind of, fabric wrapping. I thought that would look very, accurate as far as a desert knife is concerned, having some good grip to it. Lastly, the blade, it's supposed to be the tooth of a giant sandworm. It has to look biological. I took a lot of inspiration from lamprey teeth and other biological organisms that have teeth and also a body structure that, if you scaled it up, would look like a sandworm. So what I have here is, if you imagine this part as the enamel of the tooth, and then down here, this is kind of the root of the tooth. So if this were in the animal, you would only see about that much sticking out, probably hooked back. So whatever it's eating is going this way and, kind of slices it or hooks it. Kind of crazy. I have all these little grooves and stuff in here. Those would be like where the capillaries, blood flow are going. I kind of envisioned it too like it's a deer antler, a little different, but, it's got the hard, smooth surface on the outside and kind of this porous material on the inside, where it would connect to the body of the organism. So that's my basic plan for the knife. Let me show you what materials I'm going to use for it. For the blade, we're going to use the other half of this chisel. This I bought at a tag sale for a couple dollars, but it seemed like good steal, and I have to reshape it anyway, so why not, right? Old chisel. For the handle material, this old baby chair. just cut a chunk out of this. That's what I'm going to use for the basic shape. I'm going to wrap that with leather. And this is an old shirt that belonged to my grandfather that made it into my rag pile. But it's kind of got this, I don't know if you can really see it, if the camera will focus a bit. But it's got kind of a strange weave to it that if I cut strips out of it and then dye those strips, I'm just going to use like a leather dye, the same dye I would use to dye the leather projects that I work on. See how that goes. Let's see, I have a block of aluminum laying around here somewhere. I'm going to make the finger guard and the pommel out of. And then finally, hey, how are you going to make the thing look like a tooth? Well, I got this stuff. It's a product called Cerakote. It's a ceramic polymer coating. They use it on firearms a lot, but it's tough stuff. And if I mix up, you can mix colors. So if I get the blend just right, hopefully that'll give it both that white kind of enamel tooth coloration, but it'll still be really tough and it'll still be functional as well. So hopefully it'll make a pretty cool knife.